All right. Well, hello there. Welcome to the channel. My name is James, and here at 20th and 21st Movies, we are about all things cinema. All right. Today, I'm excited to share with you my thoughts on a recent release from the Criterion Collection that I had a chance to pick up in the 50% off Criterion Collection sale at Barnes& and Noble. That sale that is currently going on as of the time this video is going up in July 2024 that runs through July 28th. So I've had a chance to pick up a number of titles, including Spine 1216, from director Nancy Savoca, and that's called Dogfight. This is the film from 1991 from director Nancy Savoca that stars River Phoenix and Lili Taylor. In this film, River Phoenix plays a Marine, a young Marine about to be deployed to Vietnam. His name is Birdlace, is the name of the character. And Lili Taylor plays a nice young lady who works in a diner with her mother, and her character's name is Rose. So this tagline here says a love story. And it is the love story between Birdlace and Rose that is the centerpiece of this film, Dogfight. And that is what I want to talk about in this review. I want to share with you my thoughts on this film, what I think about this movie. I like it. I like it quite a bit, but I'll share with you my thoughts on this film. I'll talk about the video and audio quality. I'll talk about the supplements and whether or not this is a title that you should consider picking up as part of the July sale, or if you're watching this some other time, a future sale, or just picking it up anytime, perhaps even today. Let's talk about it. Dogfight is the 1991 film from director Nancy Savoca, starring River Phoenix and Lili Taylor. Of course, River Phoenix is the brother of Joaquin Phoenix, and a couple years after this 1991 film came out, unfortunately, River Phoenix passed away in 1993. But before he did, he had a chance to star in this film, along with other films such as My Private Idaho, which appears in the Criterion Collection. This is a film from Gus Van Sant. This actually came out the same year. So this is a Gus Van Sant film. This is Spine 277. It comes in a nice digipack. This stars River Phoenix and Keanu Reeves. So this is a film from Gus Van Sant that I definitely recommend checking this one out. It's a really nice addition. In addition to another film that Gus Van Sant put out that I highly recommend for this sale is To Die For, the 4K edition I have here. I did a review on this channel of this film starring Nicole Kidman. So this is another film that stars stars Nicole Kidman, a film from Gus Van Sant that I highly recommend. Of course, in this film, Joaquin Phoenix plays in this film with Nicole Kidman. So that's the brother of River Phoenix. So definitely consider this one here as well. Spine 1213. I did a review. Highly recommend this title. Excellent title. Wonderful performances from Nicole Kidman and Joaquin Phoenix. And it is a really nice film from Gus Van Sant. So a couple of Gus Van Sant films to consider. One that stars River Phoenix, who is the subject of this film here, Dogfight, and then of course his brother starred with Nicole Kidman in another Gus Van Sant film, To Die For. So definitely consider those. But today we're talking about Dogfight, and I'm going to put up here some information here. So this is Dogfight. This is director Nancy Savoca, and of course she's a bit of an underrated director. Now this is the very first film of hers that I've seen. So, but from what I understand, she's known for having a keen eye on human emotions and relationships, and that is definitely played out in this film, Dogfight, in terms of the relationship between Birdlace and Rose. So beautifully portrayed. It is born out of a cruel game, which is called the Dogfight, which is what the title of the film is based on, Dogfight. And basically, the game is Birdlace is a Marine. He is part of a company that's about to be deployed in Vietnam, and him and his Marine buddies have this game where they'll put money in a pot and they'll get dates. They'll try to find the ugliest date that they can, and whoever brings the ugliest date to the party, whoever wins the vote of the ugliest date, wins the pool of money. So it's a pretty cruel game, This is how River Phoenix's character Birdlace meets Rose. Is he finds her in the diner, decides to ask her out, figuring that she might help him win this game. But of course, as you can probably guess, this love story this is a love story that goes in a different direction. He realizes that she's better than this, and a budding relationship comes out of it, and it goes into some interesting directions that I won't spoil. But yeah, I mean, Nancy Savoca, ability to capture the subtle complexities of her character's interactions. And you see that with the relationship between Birdlace and Rose. So she has other films such as True Love and Household Saints that many of you who have seen her films are probably familiar with. I have never seen any of her other films, so this is my first foray into her filmography. So definitely let me know and let us know in the comments section if you have seen other films from Nancy Savoca. Drop a comment and let us know what films you would recommend. Now, of course, River Phoenix delivers one of his most heartfelt performances in this film as Eddie Birdlace in this film. I mean, his character is layered, has a lot of depth to this character in terms of being unlikable at first, but over time gradually becomes, someone that shows his vulnerability, and you begin to empathize with him over the course of the film. Of course, Lili Taylor's character, Rose, is very compelling. She has a lot of strength, balance with insecurity, but also very kind. She's a very kind soul, a very kind-hearted person that is dealing with insecurities, but she's also a very strong and strong-willed person at the same time. And I think that Lili Taylor did a beautiful job portraying this complex character. It's not like a one-note kind of character. There's some depth and complexity to both of these characters, and I think that River Phoenix and Lili Taylor deliver great performances in this beautiful love story. So let me read the back of the case here. Oh, the other thing I want to mention that I really like about this film is a period piece. It is set in the 1960s. It is specifically set during the time of a historical event. So it is set in 1963 in November, the night before, or a couple of nights before, the very fateful events of in Dallas in late November 1963. Of course, President Kennedy. So this film takes place the night before that happens. And this is, right before these Marines are getting ready to be deployed to Vietnam. This is in San Francisco that this story is taking place. So it's a really nice period piece set in the 1960s. And I think it's very convincing as a period piece, and in terms of making you feel like you're in that particular time and place. And you also get to see, reactions to the historical event that, of course, happens, and seeing it from the perspective of those characters is really interesting, as well as seeing a little bit of the theater of war when Birdlace and his company go to Vietnam. That's also pretty fascinating. But all of that's happening in sort of the periphery, or not the periphery, but it's all happening in support of the main event, which is this developing relationship and romance and love story between Birdlace, Eddie, and Rose. So you have these other interesting things going on, but it all supports the main event, which is the love story. So it's beautiful. So you have director Nancy Savoca here. You have River Phoenix as Birdlace and Lili Taylor as Rose, and they are beautiful together in this story. You just feel the humanity of Rose in terms of seeing how she and the other young ladies are initially treated as part of this dogfight game. But then you see the humanity and realize, and the compassion that people should show for people, and as opposed to the cruelty with which people can treat others with. And it's just beautiful. It's just beautiful. It's very heartfelt. Solid supporting cast here. You have, of course, River Phoenix. River Phoenix's buddies here. These are his buddies, his company mates that are being shown here. His fellow Marines who are getting ready to go into Vietnam. And then over here you see Rose with another young lady who was brought to this dogfight competition. And that's kind of interesting, the conversation they're having there in the ladies' room. So I won't spoil that. But, it's just all part of this fascinating, fascinating, deep story set in San Francisco in November 1963. So fascinating stuff. Of course, you see more of Eddie Birdlace and Rose. Just a heartfelt moment. I like the way that this story kind of goes in different directions. It's not incredibly predictable at a detailed level, but it's just it really goes into some very interesting directions. And I like where this story landed. I won't spoil it, but I'll just say I like where the story landed. Very, very beautiful. Of course, this is the Los Angeles Times, October 5th, 1991. It was a real dogfight to get Nancy Savoca's vision on screen. So this is an article from that time when this film came out. So very, very fascinating to see that. I like seeing articles, from around the time that these films come out, to just see what were people saying at that time. So I have a subscription to newspapers.com, so able to sort of read some of that stuff. So really, really good stuff. You see here, this is a picture in that newspaper at the time that, of course, is the same picture that appears on the cover here from Criterion. So that is super, super double looper cool. So let me read the back of this case here. It says, in ineffably bittersweet portrait of youth in the 1960s, Nancy Savoca's funny, sensitive tale of love and war etches two vividly alive characters, aspiring San Francisco folk singer Rose, Lili Taylor, and hot-headed Vietnam-bound Marine Eddie Birdlace, River Phoenix, who meet on the occasion of a cruelly misogynistic party where men compete to bring the most unattractive dates they can find. So awful, right? But what begins as a night to forget unexpectedly develops into something far more meaningful. Featuring music by folk legends Joan Baez, Bob Dylan, and Peter Seeger, Dogfight captures the miracle of human connection while gracefully subverting ideas surrounding machismo, patriotic duty, and the very meaning of America itself. And as I'm reading this right here, I'm making a connection to a review I did just a few days ago, Pat Garrett and Billy the Kid, which featured a soundtrack made from Bob Dylan, and Bob Dylan appears in the soundtrack here. So we just got Dylan everywhere this month, in Criterion. So, Bob Dylan's music and Joan Baez's music feature prominently in this film and is part of the tapestry of this wonderful film. And of course, Bob Dylan did the soundtrack for Pat Garrett and Billy the Kid, which is absolutely amazing. Definitely check out that title. But yeah, so it's really neat when you see these connections with these Criterion releases. But this is a very, very nice film. I really enjoyed this movie. I think it's a beautiful love story. It's a beautiful human story. It also has that period piece side of it. So I love movies that take place during historically significant times and ties the historical event into the events of the main characters in the story. So this film definitely worked for me. I think the supporting cast did a nice job of supporting the story, but the story does a beautiful job of centering around the dynamic between this young man and young woman, and I absolutely loved it. Beautiful film. Of course, this is the inside of the case here, which is very nice. This is a new 2K digital restoration supervised by the director, Nancy Savoca, with a 2.0 surround DTS HD master audio soundtrack. I think this picture looked just fine on Blu-ray. It's a very nice and pleasing looking presentation. Obviously we would love to get every release we can on 4K, and I'm sure this film would look nice on 4K. Criterion decided to release this on Blu-ray, and I'm very happy with this picture quality. If this were released on 4K, I'm not sure I'd even upgrade. It's just a beautiful looking high definition image, and I have no real complaints about it. Nice detail, beautiful colors. It's a very clean looking image, and I think it's a very healthy looking presentation. Nice job with that 2K digital restoration. It just looks great on Blu-ray. As far as the audio, it sounds perfectly fine. I'm not a huge audiophile, so I don't pick up on a lot of the, things that maybe some other reviewers pick up. All I can tell you is it sounded just fine to me, in terms of the music, the dialogue, everything came across quite nicely to my ears. So I'm pleased with the audio quality. But from a video and audio quality standpoint, definitely a very fine Blu-ray from the Criterion Collection. So no complaints from me. As far as special features, you do get a nice audio commentary that features the director, Savoca, and the producer, Richard Guay, who I believe, I need to look it up. I believe that might be her husband. I'll have to double check, but I'll double check that and put a comment up there. But I think that may be her husband. You have an interview with Savoca and actor Lili Taylor, conducted by filmmaker Mary Harron, which is really nice to see. This is a film from over 30 years ago, so seeing them come back and do this interview is very nice. And then you have new interviews with the cinematographer, the production designer, script supervisor, music supervisor, and supervising sound editor, which was very nice. And then, of course, you have a very nice essay in here in this insert called In Love and War by Christina Newland that I definitely recommend you check out. Very nice essay that talks about this film and the director, and puts a little bit of historical perspective as well. So this is overall a very nice release from the Criterion Collection that I can definitely give a recommendation to. This is a title that would be a nice pickup for the 50% off sale at any time, or even, maybe it's not a 50% off sale, if you don't mind a 30% off sale on Amazon, when Amazon typically sells Criterions around 30% off. If you're up for it, it's a good pickup. It's a really nice title. If you like a nice love story, you want to see River Phoenix in one of his roles, this is a nice one to check out. In addition to, of course, as I mentioned, his role with Keanu Reeves in My Private Idaho. These films came out the same year, but this is a really, really beautiful film. This is I was just checking when To Die For came out. It came out in 95, but starring his brother Joaquin Phoenix. But this is a film that stars him and Lili Taylor, River Phoenix, and his Dogfight from Nancy Savoca, and it comes highly recommended. But let me know in the comments section below what you think about this film. If you've seen it, let me know about any other films from Nancy Savoca that you've seen that you would recommend. And let me know what are some of your favorite films that star River Phoenix or even his brother Joaquin Phoenix. Are you going to see Joaquin Phoenix in the upcoming Joker film? What are your plans there? Let me know all of that goodness in the comments section below. And as always, thanks for watching. And we look forward to seeing you next time at the movies. Peace.